Red Lanterns number 2, written by Peter Milligan, art by Ed Benes. I'll figure it out one day. So we left off last issue. Atrocitus decided that the Red Lanterns are going to be a force of retribution, of justice in the galaxy, the universe even. And this is just him picking up on, okay, what does that actually mean? So he's still talking with the corpse of Krona that he has here on the planet Yzmalt. And he's like, all right, so how do I determine which rage is a worthy rage, Krona? I'm not entirely sure. I kind of was just talking before. Krona, of course, doesn't respond because he's dead. But Atrocitus reminisces on a planet called Gan-Ix or Gan-9. I'm going to assume Gan-Ix. Where it's an entire planet that's just the universe in miniature. It's filled with rage and war and pain and grief. And apparently there was a race called the Weavers. They showed up to stop a local war, but ever since the local warriors started fighting against the Weavers, it's been nothing but revenge killings and just, total all-out, not totally a metaphor for anything in the world nowadays. So we follow this group of Uevers, two of them. I don't even know if they're given names, Har and Nap. And they're just talking about, like, man, if you get to know the locals, not all of them are bad. And they're like, what about the ones that killed our friends? What about them? They're clearly bad. And it's like, okay, but not all. Look, dude, I've just got a wife and kids. I don't want to die out here. And then they hear an incoming missile. One of the ships, not theirs, but one of their friend ships, is shot down out of midair. They're angry. They're looking on their thing. They see down on the ground there are locals. They figure these must be hostiles because our ship was just taken down. So we have to retaliate. We have to attack. Then we see who it is down on the ground, and it's a group of 3 children who are just playing with some sticks and dolls. 2 boys and a girl. And they're like, all right, we should probably go home, bring this wood back to our parents. And then they hear the sound of the ship from overhead. The ship locks on, sees they're hostiles. The one guy's like, but they're not. They might not be. Like, we should check it out. So they look down. They see that they're holding something that looks kind of like a weapon. And they immediately open fire and kill the 2 boys, leaving the girl alive. The girl sees the dead siblings. First off, the Weavers are cheering. They're like, yes, we finally got some hostiles. Awesome. We've avenged deaths. And the girl, in that moment, Atrocitus feels just her pure, uncomplicated rage. The worthy pain that is worth being avenged. So then the Weavers see on their radar something big and scary and red is zooming towards them very quickly. And it is Atrocitus, who he's immediately shot at. He takes a couple of direct hits and then just doubles down because it just makes him angrier. So he goes up to the hull of the ship. He tears it open. He grabs one of the guys. I can't Nap, I guess. It doesn't matter. The dude with the kids and the wife. And he lets the ship crash. And the dude with the wife is like, he was so young, he hadn't even gotten married yet. You killed him, you monster. And he's like, I'm not the monster. And he takes him and he sets him down next to the kids he killed and be like, look what you did. And he was the one who was kind of advocating for not shooting them. So he's heartbroken of this. He's like, no, we were sure they were hostile. They were holding something. And he saw the sticks. And he's like, no, I was sure we were doing the right thing. And he asks who Atrocitus is. And Atrocitus gives his best Batman speech here. He's like, I'm an instrument of justice. I will wreak vengeance on behalf of the defenseless. And the guy tries to beg for his life. And he's like, look, I have a wife and kids. If I die, you'll be the cause of their rage. And he's like, not my problem. And he spews his Red Lantern napalm blood breath all over him, thus killing him instantly. But Atrocitus is like, he does have a point. Like, what makes some rage better than others? Does rage not beget more rage? But then he sees the girl and he's like, but this is pure rage. This is the stuff that is worthy of vengeance. And he sees the girl playing with the doll. It reminds him of his murdered daughter. He gives the doll back to her and is like, well, I am kind of losing my sense of self, so maybe if I just take this girl with me, she can teach me what, rage truly means again. And he tries to take her, and she's freaks out very appropriately. And Trust is like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm not going to hurt you. Okay, bye, sorry. So he goes back to Yzmalt, now understanding what kind of pain is worth vengeance, but he also understands that he can't do it alone. He needs assistance. So whereas all the other Red Lanterns are just mindless rage creatures that can barely form a coherent sentence, he's made the decision that he's going to risk them being a thorn in his side and give one of them increased consciousness that will rival his own so that he can have someone to basically bounce ideas off of. And we're left with which one do I choose, showing a bunch of the Red Lanterns, most of which you can see on the cover for issue 1. I still like it. It's still good. I think this is... You can do without this issue. I think you can just assume that when he makes his pact to restore vengeance in the universe or whatever, that he knows who he's going to do it with. I don't think this issue is really necessary. I think you could have just immediately gotten into the, okay, I need someone to bounce ideas. I need a lieutenant. Someone's getting extra consciousness. You could just open up the issue with that. I don't think this issue is necessary. That being said, I do think it was a very well-made issue because, hoo boy, it may as well just be called Metaphor for World Affairs, the issue. It's a very on-point thing. It does a good job of showing why nobody can look at Atrocitus's mission as inherently just selfish. He's actually doing something that a lot of people think someone should do, of like just take people who won't stop fighting and just show them what they're actually doing to each other. There's something in that, but I'm not sure how it is necessary. Overall, I'm going to give this 7. It's solid. It's a good book. I'm looking forward to the next issue, but this one wasn't totally necessary, but that doesn't make it bad. So yes, that's what I think of Red Lanterns number 2.